Okay, hello everyone. I can see that people are joining. The chat is open, so feel free to type something just to make sure that you can see me. Hello there, hi. So I know that you are here. So as well, people will be joining. There was a really quite a big registration number, so I hope what will be the. I aim to see what's going to be the conversion rate, but the chat will be open. As you probably know, if you attend the Teacher Training Academy, interactivity is one of the elements. So I really enjoy having this conversation. And since you're joining, and some people already you are just thinking about the future. And before this slide, you're already mentioning. So where are you from? How are you feeling today? And the last one, why are you attending today? So this is probably the interesting element for me. Your feelings and what is the reason? Hi, Argentina, Poland. Great. Okay, Imo, thanks a lot. You are not now teaching in North Carolina. Hi, Andreas. You feel great, Jennifer. Great. So positivity generates positivity. What is the reason that you are here? Okay. So I hope that I will manage to scroll the chat down to learn. Okay, Carla. Hmm? Amazed by my student projects. You want to add curiosity. Feeling fantastic. Doing well topic interests me for professional growth there, okay? If someone types in out of curiosity, it means that you'll be in the right place and in the right time. Help my students develop curiosity, Uma. Yes, that's true. To refill energy, Andrea. So I hope that I will manage to add a bit to this energy. Excellent, Maria. Feeling excellent. Good. Spark motivation. So motivation is the key. Uh, my curiosity, making a learning scene. Okay, Samantha from Argentina. Okie dokie. So, welcome to the Pearson English Assessment Teacher Training Academy 2025. And to tell you the truth, I'm really happy because I've been waiting for this moment because this is the first webinar in the series. And I think we designed this whole training academy 3 or 4 years ago. So it's going to be, I believe, the third or fourth edition of this initiative. So it's a 1-year program. And every year, my aim is to bring to you something, my aim and the team to bring to you something a bit different. Of course, we will talk about Pearson English International Certificate. We'll talk about the level and the benchmark test. But this time, there were 3 strands, like 3 separate categories of the series. So we start with the develop series. So we talk about, it's a very soft skill oriented. And I truly believe that effective exam preparation and language learning is not only about hammering down question types and revising the structures on and on again. There is something more to it. That is why I always try to put the pressure that soft skill development, like feedback, growth mindset, or the curiosity, is something that could give this learning atmosphere a slight push or a slight spark. So it's going to be the first series. Then we'll have IT series. So I hope that the first session on AI, I found a really good speaker and he's working for Pearson and he's also an academic teacher. So he will share with you some hot elements when it comes to artificial intelligence in language learning and exam preparation. We'll have sessions on international certificate, level test, and the benchmark test. So those of you who want to familiarize themselves, those of you who want to refresh their knowledge, there will be the Q&A open, that chat will be open. So there will be also a chance to interact with the speakers, so with our wonderful experts, to ask questions about the implementation of those elements. And the last one series, to tell you the truth, this is the series I'm not going to be leading on it, but this is the series I'm quite looking forward to. Because to tell you the truth, like, you can teach reading skills, writing skills, listening skills, and like how to write essay or how to respond to a situation or how to describe image. There's not a big change in the structure of question types. Yeah, you've got the instruction, you need to deal with it. But I wanted to do something a bit different. So So with a team, we decided to name the session the Provoke Series. And we hope that in the Provoke Series, the speaker will show you the ways you can teach towards those different elements in a completely different style. And maybe one day a student will tell you, like, or tell your friends, hey, listen to this person. He's like teaching me how to write essay, like out of this place. I don't know what kind of activities are these, but they are working and they're giving me this energy. So this is the Provoke series. So it's gonna be the whole training academy. Two small administration elements. So by the end of every webinar, so by the end of this week, I hope, you will get a feedback form, and you'll take a so that you could share your thoughts, your opinions about the webinar with us, and we'll be preparing a takeaway PDF with all the key points, and you will get them to your mailbox once you complete the whole series. So if you complete the whole series of develop, you will be eligible for certificates. If you complete the series for iTeach, you will get iTeach certificate. And if you complete the Provoke series, you will get certificate from the Provoke series. And by the end of the academy, for those who attend a minimum of 7 sessions, we'll be distributing Credly badge. So I hope that the informations are clear and the informations are also visible on the Teacher Training Academy website. A little bit about me. So I hope that I resemble myself. And this picture was taken, I think, a year ago or a year and a half ago. And this picture is related to the last point of my presentation. I'm a former teacher. I used to teach courses mainly teenagers, adults, general English, business, and exam preparation. I had a small episode with kids. I do adore them, but my energy was directed towards teenagers and adults. I guess it's my 11th year with Pearson. I was in the sales, in the business development, and I'm in the global training team. So I run educational programs like this. And at the same time, my motivation was moving me towards a different style of a workshop, but also like being a teacher. So I gradually developed myself within the coaching, crisis intervention, psychology of motivation. So this is where I would say this is where part of my heart is. So I'm doing quite a lot of study, and I've been running quite intensive courses and individual consultations within those areas. And in my free time, I ride mountain bike, but it's safe. So this image is like taken from one of the rides. And last year, I decided that I'm gonna refresh my skills in swimming. So this is a little bit about me. And moving on, develop curiosity. So there are basically 2 objectives that I aim to accomplish. And I hope that by the end of this webinar, you'll be able to define curiosity. You'll be able to explain the components of curiosity, because there are several layers of curiosity. And you'll have this, I'm sure you already have the skills, but maybe you'll find some inspiration about how to design curiosity-inducing activities within the language learning environment, and to do something a bit different. Remember, expecting different results usually means doing things differently. We'll be using chat. So I'm glad that you are interacting, and basically interactivity, it's part of curiosity as well. Before we move on, this is the sentence, and I'd like you to finish this sentence. Just out of curiosity, do it as you like. Sooner or later, your students will discover. And can you finish the sentence? Can you type in something in the chat? How would you finish the sentence? Just, we'll discover the importance of English. Okay, we'll discover AI and their potential. That's true. They will discover the way to reach whatever they want. Okay, their motivation. How to be successful in life. They will discover love, Philip. Thanks a lot. How beautiful. Their goals, how amazing learning is, how fun it is to learn English, Gianna. Okay. They will discover ways to cheat. Yes, of course, this is part of it's a natural process going sideways and short, quick fixes. They will discover that English is useful. They will discover the world. Okay. They will discover what they like, the creativity. Okay. So I want you to remember your sentence and remember the way you finished your sentence because you're going to come back to the sentence at the very end of the webinar. So moving smoothly into curiosity. The first question to you. When did you last feel genuinely curious about something? And what were you curious about? And how can you tell you were curious? Okay? If you could just, when was the last time? And what was the subject? And how can you tell that you're curious? Okay? What were the symptoms of curiosity if you were to define it? Robotics, okay? Searching for professional development opportunities. How to make a hook with a presentation. Gen AI. Last time. When having a crush on somebody. Yes, okay, curiosity. Interacting with different cultures. Traveling. Uh-huh. I haven't felt that spark in a while. Yes, that's sometimes maybe the spark is waiting, or it's a signal that you need to look for the spark somewhere else. Teaching writing using AI. And how do you know that you're curious? What were the symptoms? I could tell. I'm trying to keep up. Yeah, you Google a lot, or you're keen to learn. Okay, you're wanting to know more. Okay. My mind didn't stop thinking about it, Tanya. We're gonna talk about this. You felt interested. You had a different view. Okay, so that was the first one. The second one, and I really, when their faces light up, what makes your student curious? Different cultures. How? Hmm? Teenagers, nothing. Science, when they connect. Uh-huh. Something related to them, new topics, their favorite games, okay, self-improvement, okay, technology, so quite a lot. So, well, they are curious, and at the same time, it's safe to say, and it's okay to say that we do have some barriers. So from your own experience, what barriers prevent students and teachers from being curious? Environmental conditions, the rules, there are rules that you need to follow. Yes. Peer pressure, maybe. Yeah, by all means. Shame, educational system. Yep. Couldn't agree more. Some educational systems don't like creativity and they don't like curiosity. What they like is rule following, and that's it. Syllabus, educational system, curriculum, the rigid syllabus, testing, exam pressure, routine. So the last one, what are the potential ways you can model curiosity? Voice, gestures, thinking outside the box. Points, getting to know the students, learning and preparing, keep them motivated. Games, giving real life examples. Okay. So this is the basic, like, we feel curious from time to time. And your students, sometimes they're curious, sometimes they are not. Sometimes there are barriers like curriculum, environmental condition, peer pressure. But you can try to do something out of the box. You can try to solve problems. So I hoped to leave with you some tips, very down-to-earth tips, but at the same time, some really solid evidence-based knowledge on curiosity. So in the first element, this is like American Psychology Association, the definition of curiosity. Just read it. And I don't know why they just didn't mention anything about adult human beings, but we are curious as well. So this is this impulse or desire to investigate, to observe, to consume, to gather information. Children, this is the perfect example of curiosity. Okay, when something shines, you can see this light and the sparks in their eyes that I need to get to this place, even if it was dangerous. Okay, they don't know the barriers, and this is like this element that allows you to explore environment. This is the element that allows you to gather information and to learn. And we do have the research suggesting that there is a positive correlation. And yes, curiosity contributes to learning, contributes to performance, interaction. So it's a trait. If it's a trait of character, it means that it will be stable, because if it weren't stable, it wouldn't be called a trait. The same like openness to experience, neuroticism, extroversion. So they are all stable. So it means that you cannot modify them greatly, but you can modify them to some extent. So it's not, this is something you're dealing with, something that is totally out of your control. You can take some action to give it a slight push. And the first and the basic, and I'm sure some of you already know it, encouraging curiosity, it means bringing in the true value of questions. And here are some inspiration that I've experienced myself, and I've heard from fellow teachers. I've learned from various researchers. If you have never done naive question time or no stupid question times, have you ever done no stupid questions within your language classroom? Yes, no, Carla. Okay. So basically, depending on the level, either you need to pre-teach questions, or you need to say that, okay, what kind of questions children ask, and they will bombard you with all the questions. So you assign, depending on the length of the class, on time, you assign some time, and you say, okay, this is like no stupid question type. And you as a teacher will do a lot of breathing, okay, just to calm yourself down. But this is the time when students can come up to you with any question they want, even if this has been explained 100 times within the class. They will come to you and they can ask questions and you answer all of them. Of course, there are some specific rules. They need to be about the language. They need to be about the aspect. I really enjoyed, for example, no stupid question time before tests. Okay, because sometimes as a student and then as a teacher and now as a business trainer, I know sometimes people don't feel comfortable asking questions for fear of looking foolish in front of the group. But when you set the scene, that you accept all the questions, there are no critical remarks, and all the questions will be supported by the best potential answer, just is worth experimenting it. The second one is just a small bit of research. When children were interactive with a robot, it was like social robot. They were playing tablet app. They were using tablet app, and one of this social robot was very curious, and the other type was very indifferent. And the social one was asking questions like, "I wonder what would happen. I wonder what will you do now? What is it? What does it mean?" That's a great word. And just because of this interaction, some of the curiosity complex, when they were measured before and after the test, they basically went up. So questions can create curiosity, can give rise to curiosity. Learning objectives. Okay, you open any course books and you'll have the learning objectives. So why don't you change the learning objective statements into the questions? Okay, so what is present perfect continuous and how can we show each other that we understand how it works? To tell you the truth, when I was a student, I never paid any attention to the learning objectives in the course books. You know why? Because I've never had teacher paying attention to them. Basically, it was like, okay, so this is the point of the lesson. Let's move on. So there was nothing inside of why is it important, what is the value, what do I want to know about it, and why should we care about this learning objective. The last one, the last but one, and I was asking these questions as well, and I'm sure a lot of people ask, what's the answer to be free, etc. Instead of asking what's the answer, then you ask how did you solve, and we're gonna talk about it when we talk about stress tolerance. And my favorite bit, I used to call it dirty shoe syndrome. When you ask the group by the end of a lesson, do you have any more questions? And all that they start looking at their shoes and like, oh my God, they are quite dirty. Yeah, no one has any more questions. Maybe because they're afraid, maybe because time is running out and they want to go on a break, but maybe they don't know that they can ask questions, or they don't know if those questions are actually welcome within the language reality. So instead of asking, do you have any more questions, who can share more questions, we can ask to learn more about this particular subject. But this is the basic element. Another one, a very simple warm-ups, and the warm-ups is gonna be easy. Basic connections and odd one out. You take any words from the course book, or you just use AI to generate them, and you ask, depending on the level, to make any connection between those words. Like, what's the connection between apple, tree, seed, and grow? The more connections they can design, the better for them. The odd one out, it's another one, but quite well known. So, well, list of words, what word is different, and just depending on the level, you can increase the complexity. The metaphor hunt is a bit different. You throw in all the metaphors, all the idiomatic expressions, depending on the language unit from your course book, and then you ask them to dig deeper. So what is the literal meaning of time flies? What is the literal meaning of biting the bullet? Okay, and you ask the group to trace it in history. So what was the first instance, if they can find the first instance that someone used the phrase bite the bullet, and why is it so that you need to bite something if you want to endure a situation that's gonna be unpleasant for you? Okay, out of curiosity, Google it yourself and then ask your students. And now something that I want you to do, I want you to do with me. You have two columns, and this is something that I hope that you will start using in your language classroom. It's part of how to design analogies, okay? I want you to finish, you take any word from column A, from the column on the left, like child, you connect it with the column, with the second column, with the column B, and you select A is like B because, and you finish. Yeah? I hope it's clear. Any connections are, all the connections are possible, but you need to provide an explanation. Yeah, this is like how you design an analogy. Okay, so you take like child is like chocolate factory because, okay, and you provide an explanation. Go for it. Any examples? Director is like a criminal story. They never know what killed the patient. A doctor, yeah, nice one. Uh-huh. The doctor is like a theater is like a chocolate factory because you have fun and you enjoy yourself. Yes. School is like an old newspaper, Mandy. Yes, but you need to finish because. Television is like an old newspaper because no one watches them now. Thank you. School is like a crowded bus because there are various kids there. Yes. Child is like a crowded bus because they can smell it. Fair enough. Television is crowded bus because it's full of creepy people. Yup, yup, yup. Theater is like a Picasso painting, a group of fine arts combined. How beautiful, Katya. Doctor is like a criminal story because it's full of mysteries. Science is like Picasso painting because nothing is certain. Wow, nice one. A school is like a crowded, okay, I'm gonna go a doctor a la mechanics because they try to fix you, even if when they don't know what's wrong. Yes, thank you. Really, really good one. So you know how to design analogies, and you can very easily create this activity once you train the vocabulary. So you do the specific vocabulary, and it's like it will take you 10 minutes to design it in PowerPoint. You select different one and you teach them to design analogies. But now I want you to look at these analogies, and then can you try to finish this? Past simple is like a photo album. Present perfect is like a bridge. Future simple is like a blank calendar because that's cool. If that's cool, take it with you. Present perfect is like a bridge because it connects past and present. Yes, that's true, Luciana and Lucia. Mhm. Past simple is like a photo album because it brings back memories. Gustavo, yeah. Exam preparation like a marathon because kids prepare to pass the exam. Okay. Exam preparation is like unless it's like MMA fight because you get eye bags in the end because of sleepless nights. Nice one, really good. Future simple is like a blank calendar because we don't know if it will be certain. That's true. That's true. Past simple like album because remember a sudden happy memories about the memories. Yeah. So now you have a wonderful tool and just answer this question to yourself. You provide the name and you explain the tense, and then you provide an analogy. What is likely to stick? The beautiful story of a past simple like a photo album because it consists of things that already happened and you cannot change them and they are finished, or with a bridge, or rather the grammar rule that happens at some point in all the language course books. So feel free to use analogies because analogies serve two purposes. Once they serve the purpose of simplifying things by connecting something which is not clear to something which is already familiar, looking the common feature, you make this thing simplified and you make this more easy to comprehend. And the second option, if you make a very distant analogy, like when you look at the student and say, your exam preparation looks like a civilization that is falling apart. So it's a bit deeper and it requires a bit of an explanation. An essay is like MMA fight because you never know what feedback you will get from your professor. That's true. Okay, so use analogies, okay, to spark curiosity when you explain complex terms. And now moving into the curiosity, the research by Todd Kashdan, the psychologist, and he developed the scale of measuring curiosity. And by the end of this webinar, you know that there are actually 5 dimensions of curiosity. You talk about joyous exploration, deprivation sensitivity, stress tolerance, social curiosity, and thrill seeking. So within curiosity, there are several layers. And it's not only about thrill seeking, it's not only about the joyous exploration. And we'll go through them one by one to see what can you do. And when you measure people on the curiosity scale, you can the results you will show, and you will have this type of students as well, that you could have people that will be called the fascinated ones. So they have high score on all of the dimensions, especially joyous exploration. You would have problem solvers. So they have medium, but they are very high on deprivation sensitivity. You'll have those who empathize with others. So social curiosity will be their high score. And you'll have avoiders. They are very low on all the scores, especially they are low on stress tolerance. So there is a quite a mixture because one of your scale One of the subscales could be high up within you, and the other scale could be quite low within your personality because of the experience or because of the fact basically that you haven't discovered it yet. So the joyous exploration. How would you define joyous exploration? What is joyous exploration for you? So some people tell it that this is the prototype of curiosity. You are eager to research. Yes, enjoying the process. So this is most of the answers that you've inserted in the chat box at the very beginning were about joyous exploration. I was interested in something and I was trying to learn and to enjoy the ride. Yes, that's true. So the joyous exploration, this is the prototype, and it's all about the pleasure. So you are sitting before the lesson, so you're sitting in the evening, and you start thinking, how is it so that people have different taste in music? That some people prefer rock and some people prefer classical music. How is it so that we have different sounds? How is it so that there are so many possible ways to express the same emotion in English? How is it so that we greet each other in different way? So this is this energy. This is the desire to know something. And as some of you mentioned, it's not about destination, it's about the journey. It's about the very process of enjoying and going through life or through period with this eagerness to learn, eagerness to experience, and basically to to be in the process. Road is more important. So when you bring joyous exploration into the language classroom, three options. Feel free to choose, feel free to modify, feel free to edit them, feel free to experiment. This is just a sample for you to play with. Cultural treasure hunt. So depending on the unit you deal, just throw a pre-classroom activity in the middle. If your students use mobile phones, internet, capitalize internet. So you throw some cultural facts, you throw some phrases, you throw some interesting information like the one, this metaphors bite the bullet or time flies, and you let them explore it and share the discoveries with you. The one option. Number two, curiosity wall. And I can tell you, I wish I had curiosity wall when I was learning. For me, it is like super activity. So you design, you take like, I don't know, so some board, or you've got these sticky notes, and you hand them over, or they are somewhere in the classroom, and you say that all the students can write any question they want. If you want, you can set some rules that this question should be about, for example, Argentina. The question should be about the grammar, or they can be very open. But once you collect these questions as a group, and you, including your students, you work towards answering them. So then your objectives, the objective is to clear all the board, just to remove all the questions. And those questions will be relevant questions to your students because they ask the questions themselves. Sometimes they will need a slight push, but if you haven't done it, experiment and see. Okay, so the curiosity wall, and you can go for very provocative questions if your group is very open for discussions and critical thinking. And then the discovery log. So in the target language, you can assign some extra points, and some of you mentioned. They come to the class with their own individual discoveries in the target language of any blog they read, of any video they've seen, of any trip, of any conversation they held in the target language, something that they discovered themselves. I like it. I will use it. Jennifer, if you see each other next time, drop me a line in the chat. How was it? Okay. So the detective, and I will leave with you two variations because I came up with this second one, and I think the second one, discovery log, it's a bit a different activity. So discovery log, they share with you their own discoveries, okay? And it could be the group project, it could be individual project. They can evaluate, they can share the discoveries with each other, or you can have a group discussion. Joyous exploration. Then you've got deprivation sensitivity. Curiosity wall is great. Use it and spread the knowledge about the curiosity wall. You can have curiosity wall on conditional, for example, and all the questions will be, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? And then you work as a group to answer them. And this is curiosity wall. So it's a different form. When I'm thinking about it right now, it's a different form of no stupid questions. Yeah, nice combination. So deprivation sensitivity. So if Joyous exploration was about the journey, this is no longer about the journey. It's about the destination. So it's about relentless work on problems. And deprivation sensitivity, this is the feeling that you cannot go to bed and you just have your eyes wide open saying, oh my God, I need to find an answer to these questions. I am going to die. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to drink. I need to find an answer. So this is not about enjoying the process. As you see, you experience anxiety and tension, but this is about you or your student wanting to bridge the gap to find the missing element. So those elements in red, it means that there's a light and dark side of deprivation sensitivity. Because if it's really high, you could lack something which is called intellectual humility. So basically, you could lack the option of saying, I don't know for the time being, and it will do, because maybe I will learn about it later. Because if you lack this one, there could be like element of pressure to accept facts without judgment, okay? Fake news. And this is sometimes, this is what happens when people use AI, because they have very high deprivation sensitivity and they are very pressed to find an answer. So the AI produces something and they don't take time to check it against evidence-based sources. Or, well, some of the programs, they already provide you with a source, but still you can click and you can open the link actually, or you can get scientific research article and you select, okay, this is like fact-based. But just a red light somewhere behind your back that sometimes is deprivation sensitivity needs to be equipped with intellectual humility. And what can you do within the language learning reality? Teach students how to be relentless, how to be unstoppable by bringing in all the logical riddles. Okay, the nine drop exercise. You put like logical riddles, creative riddles, and they could take 5 minutes, 3 minutes, or 10 minutes, but tell them not to stop at pursuing, even if they fail at the very first time. Find a lie. You open the book, you see, okay, I'm going to be using roadmap, and there is a whole unit on films. And you see the image of Interstellar. So either your students prepare it like pre-activity, they work themselves, or you design several sentences about interstellar film, and one of them is a lie. And find a lie. Okay, so either group work or pair work or individual activity, or they design those sentences themselves. And language detective, two variations. Either all of them become language detectives, but you can do things like this. You prepare a set of small pieces of paper, and one of the paper is printed and has an image of magnifying glass. And you put them in the box, and there is a lottery. By the end of a lesson, or by the end of a week, by the end of a month, you decide, and those person who draws the magnifying glass becomes the language detective. And his or her role is to take out all the words from the unit and become like Sherlock Holmes and become really an expert at discovering the meanings, synonyms, antonyms, collocations. If your your group is like on a really good level, I encourage you to start working with mind maps, and you can assign this activity for this detective that they need to create a mind map. I think I was using Mind Map Pro program, quite cheap per paying the subscription. It was like for life, and it was like really worth investing. But there are different programs, so feel free to choose your own one. And they design a mind map. Of course, it's not for me. It shouldn't be an extra activity to a regular homework, but they should be given a privilege. You will do this mind map and you'll be evaluated and will share this mind map with the other students, but you won't have to do, for example, a different activity or a different essay. And when I was doing my post-diploma studies, and this is the fact, true story, when we saw some of the mind maps designed by some students, they were so perfect that actually people were willing to pay for them because they were the best option to revise before various tests and exams. So language detective, two variations. One, all the people by the end of a lesson, by the end of the week or a month, or it's a lottery and you take one and this person becomes the language detective. Just you teach them how to be relentless, how to find all the things that the group is struggling with, okay? Stress tolerance. Who knew that stress tolerance will be a dimension of curiosity? Okay, but it is, because you could be really interested in a subject. You could be eager to learn about something, but if you cannot handle the pressure and the stress, in all likelihood you will stay away from it. So the stress tolerance is about the dealing with the doubt, the confusion, the anxiety. It's about fighting, not freezing, and not running away. And it's about looking at the situation in terms of challenge rather than threat of a loss, because you have three basic connections. Whenever something happens to you and to your students, like Ariana, you are the last one in my chat. So imagine the situation that we work together and you say to me to change the online program because the other one is not working. And it's like, and either I'm going to perceive this situation as a threat or a loss or a challenge. It will change my motivation and it will change the emotional experience and it will result in a complete approach. So within the curiosity element, you need to teach your students how to embrace stress and how to embrace this anxiety. Several options. Exposure, one of the most effective ways taken from therapies. Exposure means giving them a chance to experience something in the smallest chunks that they can manage. Okay, public performance, one of the most stressful activities. Great number of researchers, if they test stress reaction, they usually go for public performance because it's stressful for almost everyone, and they just measure the stress symptoms, the strategies. So offering exposure, that's why it's good to say, hey, we're going to be doing mock tests. We're going to be doing public speaking. We're going to be doing public presentations so that you'll be able to handle stress more effectively when the day comes. And then there are different activities. If there is public performance, they can perform in pairs. You can teach them to find a friendly supporter within the class. So whenever you are in trouble, you look at this person and you are sure that this person will smile to you with a warm smile and say, like, give a nod, like, you can make it. Okay, you can do it. So there are different strategies. Exposure, improvising. Can you come up with all the social interactions, with the names of the social interactions that your students have in everyday life? Just type in something. Extra classes, club, yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about friends, yeah. Greetings, face-to-face, parties. What else? What are the categories of social interaction they will have? Club, family, and you ask throw this question to your students. And then you say, these are the social interaction. You'll be, for example, social media, friends, visiting parents, Christmas, holidays, winter breaks, doctor, hospital, whatever. And you design a list of 50 of those situations. And you say, I'm going to help you endure them in real life, depending on the level, of course. But let's say like this intermediate level. And then every lesson or every other lesson, you do the lottery. They approach the jar with those small pieces of paper. They take a, a name of a category at random, and immediately they jump into the conversation about it. If it's about greetings, they need to arrange greeting scenery. If it's about music, they start talking about music. Of course, they will struggle with vocabulary at some point, but no limitations are here. Tell them, if you cannot say it, you can show it, you can draw it, you can open the online, you can use your phone, you can demonstrate it, you can mime it. I want you to survive these activities, and they do it within per activities. A lot of laughter, especially when they try to mime the vocabulary, but it all has to be held in the target language. Talking openly about their feelings before the lesson. Yeah, so feelings could be one of the papers, and they jump in and they say, let's talk about feelings. So exposure divided into very manageable chunks. If they are not experienced it, just asking them to provide like 15-minute presentation in front of the class may be way too much. You can start with 1 minute talk, or you can start with like a group performance. Okay, so manageable pieces. This is the point of offering exposure. With anxiety or fear of something, they manage it step by step. Sometimes they have support of a different person. They do the mental imagining of this, of approaching it. So everything helps. And the tracking element, sometimes it's good to encourage students to track the challenges that they faced. And basically, it's not about the challenge, but basically asking them to track the way they solved the situation. So what did they do to actually win this particular situation? Okay, and when you're dealing with avoiders, one element, please remember that it's not about mastery models. So mastery model is like, hey, this is Deborah. Deborah performs 100%. Congratulations to you, Deborah. And all the people like, yay. And this is the mastery models. It will not serve any purpose for the avoiders. I want you to convert them into the coping model. This is Deborah. Deborah performs 100% within the test. Deborah, please tell us what strategies you used that actually took you to this place. Okay, this is how you cope with this situation. So instead of mastering model, ask this question: what strategies? Teach the rest your skills. Okay, showing failure and normalizing uncertainty. Admit that you are the person who experience uncertainty from time to time. Just show them how you solve the reading, but be allowed with the thinking process that you have. Like, oh, I'm not sure if this one, maybe I look at this one, just to demonstrate that it's something natural within the challenging situation to experience uncertainty. And all the management strategies, breathing, mindfulness, this is like extra activity, different workshops, but I'm sure that you are familiar with it. So avoiders, coping models, showing failures, and normalizing uncertainty. The social curiosity, this is something what we like. The first one was like enjoying the process, the destination, the stress tolerance, and this is directed toward other people. So it's about the really wanting to know what they feel, what they think, what they say, what they behave. So it's like observing, talking, and listening to them. Okay, and especially you do it in an open way, because discovered curiosity is like gossiping about people, trying to trying to learn about them without them knowing about it. Okay, just behind their back. So this is not something you want to go. You want to inspire this true curiosity, open curiosity, so that they will learn about other people. Talk, talk, talk. Interviewing. Teach them how to design proper interviews. Okay, so design of all the things that your students are interested in and let them interview each other. Okay, then let them talk about things they are truly interested in, that they want to know, and just show them how to find inspiration within different person. Group investigation and exploring culture and grammar. Just allow them to move out and talk to people of a different culture. Let them teach them how to be really interested in those elements that they want to achieve. So social curiosity, individual or group investigation. If you can see, this is my little kid in the back who is really curious, and he came to my room and he wanted basically to check what I'm doing, and he was trying to take some books. This is the natural curiosity, okay? For the few minutes ago, he was sitting next to me, just below my knees, and he was looking at me, he's like, hi, I'm with you. Curiosity in action. Yes, that's true. That's true. So the curiosity is this willingness, the engagement with another mind. Yeah, this is like show how to be engaged with another mind. What are the other people thoughts and beliefs, and how is it so that there are different from each other? And the final one is a thrill seeking. And to tell you the truth, I was at a loss how to how to design thrill seeking within the language classroom activity, because it's about, as you see, taking physical social risks, something going, investing and risking something because of this maximal experience. Let's amplify it. Okay, let's do something. And then it came to me, and I want you to Google this guy, wonderful psychology. If you type it, Our Walk by Daher Keltner, you will get to a nice PDF, and you'll have like a nice activity. And I said, yes, you can go for the walk. You can transform the walk a bit and have it as a thrill-seeking activity. Of course, this is an option, but let me what you think of it. So this is the experience, and this is the American Psychology Association definition of awe. This experience of admiration, yeah, elevation in response to something greater than you. It's basically when you experience something vast and great, you become really small, and you feel this true connection that there is something more than you, and this is like you are very you admire something, and then you admire something. This is like always expiring stimulus. And two variations for the adult learners and for the teenagers. First of all, you explain the awe concept, okay, and then you set the task as a homework activity. You ask them to go for a walk, individual or group, and this needs to be the awe walk. So once you download this PDF, you will see that they will need to do some grounding to experience the sensations, potentially without checking all the time mobile phones. They should have their mobile phones with themselves, just out of security, but they should experience something, and they should either record their observations by the end when they finish it, or they can draw, or they can write a diary, and they bring to the lesson those experiences for the pair sharing, for the group discussion, and for reflections. And in this PDF, you will find some samples of where to look for in this awe. Okay, you've got natural settings, urban settings, and indoor settings. So a library, a museum, a planetarium. So it's not only about traveling to an exotic place and having something really expensive at distance. It could be experiencing awe by admiring an architecture of a regular block of flats on condition that you know what to look for. I can relate to your kid distracting you in the middle. Yeah, this is gonna be the best memory, and I'm gonna give him a big hug. And speaking of kids, this is a slight modification of how to design the O walk for kids. Okay, because the other one will be for the adult learners. So how would you explain O for kids? Okay, so you saw the definition. So what would you say the awe? How would you explain awe for kids? When do you experience awe? So it's like when you go on an adventure or you go on a treasure hunt, when you run into a famous person. So you tell them, okay, I want you to go on a treasure hunt. And since these are kids, you need to give them the list of things to look for. I want you to look for something shiny. I want you to look for something small. I want you to look for the brightest element. I want you to look for something with the most uneven surface. And once they find it, they need to either draw it, take a picture of it, describe it using simple words, and they bring the discoveries to the lesson. I really like the O pause. The O pause is like we are finishing the webinar, and right now the O pause is like look around and tell me what's the smallest object you see. Okay, do it yourself. Look around and tell me what's the smallest object you see. And type it in my phone, okay? A pin, okay? Olive seeds, a paper clip, yes. Okay, look around and tell me what's the object you could potentially use to defend yourself. A fork, a pencil, a knife, a scissors, a bottle, a vase. Yes, yes. So this is like the O pause, of course. And then you teach kids to make a pause in life and to observe something, and they can design the O diary. So this is the 1 hour. Time flies, I would say. This is the method. Time flies, but I really enjoyed sharing these experiences with you and during interactivity. So remember that curiosity is not about only learning something, but it has more layers. So the first one is joyous exploration. The second one is deprivation sensitivity. The next one is about stress tolerance. The next one is about the social curiosity. And the last one is about thrill seeking. I've shared with you some of the tips, edit them, be curious about them, see how they work, and check them within the language class. And now coming back to this sentence. Remember, we started off this sentence. Sooner or later, your students will discover, and you said will discover how to cheat, will discover how language, will discover love, will discover their goals, etc. And I want you to remember this ending. That sooner or later, your students will discover who you are as a teacher, just as you discovered who your teachers were. Show them your face lighting up when talking about language. This is the best you can do by showing your students that you are truly interested, you are truly curious about something. Okay, so just as you discovered who your teachers were, because you sooner or later you discovered as a student, oh, that guy is just trying to survive the day. And you saw, this maths teacher is really passionate about. And I hope that your students will see the sparks in your eyes when you talk about some elements that you are really interested in. So the curiosity challenge for you is design and share one curiosity-driven exercise, design and conduct, share with your students, implement in your class before our next webinar, Remember about the experience, results, feedback, feelings, anything you want to share. And we can start when we start the webinar. You can drop it in the chat or you can contact me and you can share the story with me about this curiosity inducing activity. So I'm really grateful for your connection, for you being with me, sharing your examples and experience. In a few days, you'll get this feedback form. You'll get PDF PDF summary from me, and the next session is about growth mindset. So this is something really worth knowing. As you'll see, all this develop series will be inextricably connected because curiosity, feedback, and the growth mindset, they will give strong foundation for those magical moments. So thank you one more time for being with us and for being in this first webinar in the Teacher Training Academy 2025. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your night. Now it's gonna be time for me and my kids and all those questions about the day and all those questions about the webinar. Appreciate your presence. Enjoy and hopefully see you next month in the webinar about growth mindset. Thank you, Sergio.